So you've got that one uncle who moonlights as a life coach, an aunt who's a part-time detective for your love life, and a grandma whose main hobby is commenting on your appearance. What if I told you that you could make them all speechless with a single question? Today, we're unlocking that power. In Part 1, we cleared the tutorial level. We diagnosed the game's physics, identified the background characters, and figured out why the whole system feels so rigged. If you missed that essential intel, the link is in the description. So let's get practical. It's time for the anti-cringe arsenal, which you can think of as having different levels of defense. Your first line of defense is the art of the dodge. This is conversational judo. When they ask an intrusive question, you don't block it. You redirect its energy. Pivot the spotlight back onto them. People love talking about themselves, so a quick "enough about me, I've been dying to hear about your trip to Costa Rica" can work wonders. For a more structured approach, you can use the comeback generator. You can pick your style, the diplomat for a polite escape, the comedian for a laugh, or the mic drop for when you need to be bold. So if someone asks if you're dating anyone, a diplomat could say, "Not right now, just focusing on my main character energy. But hey, speaking of plans, I was actually hoping to get your advice on something completely different." A comedian could say, "My love life is in its Delulu era, super aspirational, zero results." And a mic drop would be, "That's pretty personal, I'd rather not talk about it." If they ask about your grades, a comedian could go with, "Let's just say they're not giving GOAT, but they're also not giving flop era, it's a vibe." And if you get unsolicited advice about getting a real job, you could say, "Currently in my do-it-for-the-plot career phase, very unpredictable, great stories." But the simplest, most devastating technique is, "Why do you ask?" When they ask a deeply personal question, just pause, look at them thoughtfully, and ask, "That's an interesting question. Why do you ask?" This puts the spotlight directly on them to justify their nosiness. It's a pro-gamer move that often leaves them speechless. Dodging is great, but to stop the attacks from happening in the first place, you need to build a force field. In the real world, that's called a boundary. Think of boundaries not as aggressive walls, but as the velvet ropes to your own personal VIP lounge. They protect your emotional space and teach people how you expect to be treated. Setting a boundary is basically you planting a flag and saying, "This is me, this is where my space begins," separate from what your family expects. Now, get ready for the pushback. They might say, "You're being too sensitive," or "I was just joking." Stay calm. You can respond with, "I understand you didn't mean to upset me, but that topic is off limits for me." Or if they say, "I'm just trying to help," you can say, "I know you mean well and I appreciate that. What would be most helpful for me is if we could talk about something else." You validate their intent while holding your ground. That's how you build your force field. But what if you're dealing with someone who is genuinely toxic, a true boss battle? For this, you need a stealth mode, the gray rock method. Here's the theory. A manipulative or narcissistic person is like a T-Rex. Their vision is based on emotional movement. They feed on big reactions, your anger, your tears, your frustration. That's their fuel. Your goal is to make yourself the most boring, unremarkable gray rock on the ground. This works on a psychological principle called extinction. By not giving the person the emotional reaction they crave, you are removing their reward. You're starving them of the attention they feed on. Eventually, they get bored and go look for a more interesting rock to bother. To do this, you give short, dull, emotionally dead answers. Yes, no, Your voice should be flat, monotone. You should avoid eye contact and give minimal body language. You become a human voicemail. But, and this is a huge neon sign red flag warning, when you first do this, the person might have an extinction burst. They might panic, turn up the drama, or go full meltdown mode, and be more provocative to get a reaction from you. This is the most critical moment. This escalation is actually a sign that the method is working. They are panicking because their fuel source is gone. You have to hold firm. If you can stay a boring gray rock through the extinction burst, they will eventually give up. But let me be crystal clear. If at any point you feel physically unsafe, this is not the strategy. Your safety is priority one. Bail and get help from a trusted adult. Okay, you've got your special moves. Now for your in-game survival kit to keep your sanity bar from hitting zero. First up, you need your social lifeline. Every good quest needs a sidekick. Before the event, give a trusted cousin, sibling, or even a parent a pre-mission briefing. Set up a rescue signal, a code word, or a specific look that means, "Get me out of this conversation now." If you don't have an ally inside, use your phone a friend lifeline. A pre-planned text to a friend can be your excuse to step away. Next in your inventory is an escape route map. Decide your time limit before you even show up and have an excuse ready to bounce. And don't forget the tactical retreat. You do not have to endure every second. Offer to help in the kitchen, take the dog for a walk, or forget something in your room. Or, my personal favorite, use a human shield. Find your youngest cousin and get intensely interested in their Minecraft world. Most adults won't interrupt a cute conversation to ask you about your dating life. Finally, the most important item in your kit is pocket-sized Zen. When anxiety hits, your secret safe room is the bathroom. Lock the door and use these 2 mental health cheat codes that therapists literally teach people. First up is the 4-7-8 breathing exercise, kind of like the square breathing technique you learned in our How to End Any Awkward Conversation video. This isn't just take a deep breath, it's a nervous system hack. Breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds, hold it for 7, and exhale slowly through your mouth for 8 seconds. That long exhale sends a direct message to your brain's alarm system to stand down. Another mental trick is to fact-check your anxiety. Your brain might be telling you, "This is a catastrophe, everyone is judging me." That's a cognitive distortion called catastrophizing. Challenge it. Ask yourself, what is the actual evidence that this dinner is a total disaster? What is a more realistic, less dramatic thought? You are the boss of your thoughts, not the other way around. At the end of the day, there's one massive truth. You cannot control your relatives. But you have 100% control over your own thoughts, your own feelings, and your own actions. You are the main character of your story. Your relatives are just challenging side characters, maybe even some glitchy characters stuck on a loop. The real win isn't a conflict-free gathering. The real win is getting through it with your sanity and your self-respect intact. You've leveled up. If this video gave you the playbook to handle your next family gathering, you know the drill. Smash that like button to get these cheat codes out to everyone who needs them, and share this with a friend who is absolutely dreading their next family dinner. Subscribe and hit the bell for more real talk, no BS. And no cap, I want the tea. Drop your most chaotic, cringe-core family story in the comments. I need to see who wins the drama crown. Let's prove no one is alone in this. Stay sane out there. Peace.